This is Andrew with Android Central, and we have our hands on the brand new Samsung Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge. Following up on the relatively disappointing Galaxy S5 of last year, Samsung went back to the drawing board to start fresh with the Galaxy S6, and it really shows. The device is built on a solid metal frame and has two big pieces of Gorilla Glass 4 covering both the front and back of the phone. Of course, that means that the backplate isn't removable, but it does let Samsung trim down the thickness to just 6.8mm, as well as make the GS6 shorter and narrower than the GS5 with the same 5.1-inch screen. The combination of materials feels fantastic, and it blows away the previous Galaxy S devices, even the Galaxy Alpha and the Note 4. That glass design also let Samsung experiment nicely with colors, including bright blue and deep green, which cover both the back and front of the device and shimmer and change depending on the way the light hits it, because the glass is laid ever so slightly above the color. The color options are nice, but just as importantly, Samsung has packed in a solid set of specs. The GS6 comes with a new 14nm xenos processor, 3 gigs of RAM, and considering that the SD card is now gone, a base of 32 gigs of storage with the option to bump up to 64 or 128. That all powers an absolutely gorgeous 5.1-inch Quad HD display that hopefully won't hit the 2550 mAh battery too hard. The front of the Galaxy S6 is the only part that's instantly recognizable, with a familiar face that includes a Samsung logo at the top and an oval home button at the bottom. You may notice that the button is a bit taller than usual. That's because it now holds a one-touch fingerprint reader, ditching the finicky swipe model. Considering the huge changes in hardware, the software doesn't exactly stray far from what we expected. Anyone who's seen the Lollipop update on the Galaxy S5 or Note 4 is pretty close to knowing what's on the Galaxy S6, though Samsung has again toned things back a bit in this latest build of TouchWiz. There's no longer a huge drop-down list of quick launch icons in the notification shade, and Samsung has cut out a few of the less useful features from the phone, but a glance through the app drawer still shows plenty of Samsung's own bundled apps. Multi-window is still here, but simplified and streamlined, and the Galaxy S6 has added the ability to have small windowed apps like the Galaxy Note 4. Of all the issues we found with the Galaxy S5, the camera's spotty low light performance was one of the major pain points, but Samsung is taking things more seriously this time around. A brand new 16-megapixel sensor can be found on the Galaxy S6, supported by true optical image stabilization and several new software features. There's IR white balance detection, auto HDR mode, live HDR view in the viewfinder, as well as fast tracking autofocus, a feature borrowed from its Galaxy NX camera line, for keeping your subject crisp at all times. There's also a new way to launch into your camera. At any time, even when the screen is off, double press the home key to launch the camera in less than a second and be right to taking photos. Samsung improved on the Galaxy S5 in just about every area, with a brand new design, refreshed software experience, and camera specs that should produce great photos. But Samsung wasn't done there. It also made an Edge version of the Galaxy S6. The Galaxy S6 Edge, as it's known, is nearly identical to the regular Galaxy S6, aside from the long edge of the display being tightly curved over its sides. But this thankfully isn't just a Galaxy Note Edge reboot. The Galaxy S6 Edge ditches the idea of a dedicated Edge screen software package, so the phone's interface fills the entire screen. You instead just get a few neat features that take advantage of the curves. You can set up a simple swipe-in gesture from either edge to show a quick contact interface or check up on missed calls and messages. But they're only accessible when the phone is on the home screen. Whenever you're in an app, the experience is identical to that of the Galaxy S6. No longer is the experience cluttered with vertically scrolling tickers or information on the edges. And sorry to break it to you, but you can't use the Galaxy S6 Edge as a digital ruler. There's also an Edge nighttime clock that softly illuminates when you touch the edge and the screen is off, as well as a fun feature that lights up the edge when the phone is face down on a table and you receive a call from one of your favorite contacts. Perhaps most importantly, the Galaxy S6 Edge is actually usable in one hand and doesn't care whether you hold the phone in your left or right hand. The power button is also still on the side of the phone where you can actually reach it. Those are three things that you couldn't really say about the overtly large and asymmetrically designed Note Edge. Beyond that, the S6 Edge has the same components, feel, and premium build of the regular Galaxy S6, meaning you won't compromise on hardware or software features in order to have the curved version. You'll simply get a little less metal on the sides in exchange for a conversation-starting curved screen. Taken together, the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge are a great indication that Samsung is working hard to refine its ideas and release a flagship smartphone in two subtly different versions that should appeal to lots of people out there, including those who previously wouldn't give Samsung a look due to its plastic build materials. There are still plenty of unknowns though. We don't know how the 2550 mAh battery will hold up to the strain of powerful components in a Quad HD screen, even with integrated wireless charging. And while the phone definitely looks great, the long-term strength of the Gorilla Glass 4 back is still also up in the air. Even with these reservations in mind, there's still so much to like here that the Galaxy S6 is a phone we can truly get excited about, and we can't wait to spend more time with it.